Now, just like other techniques that we have refined over time, the same thing is going to happen with textures. Look, we started out yesterday with an image that was then saved as a PSD file with an underscore 01 to designate the version of this particular strategy, because there are so many strategies that we can use, because we may have an 02345. But this way, the name of the file is associated with the name of either the digital negative or the JPEG that you began with, and it's a PSD file. Now, instead of saving out textures today, I'm going to show you how to save out brushes. Let's say we wanted to make a brush of this particular black and white image. All we'd have to do is make a new everything layer. Shift, Option, Command. Sometimes E works, sometimes you have to go N and then E in order to make a new layer and then put pixels on this layer. And once that's there, we can go up to Edit, Define Brush Preset. And I have set a custom keyboard shortcut here for brushes and patterns, or at least I think I did. I don't know. This looks like one of my custom shortcuts because it has all the keys at the bottom. That's Control, Option, Command, B. And then it comes up named the same as the file, right? So we really don't need the .psd at the end of this. You know, this is danger, Will Robinson, because I don't want you taking the name of the PSD off of this file. But here for the brush, we can just call it 01A because we're going to make several brushes. And look, it tells you what size it is, 4,752 pixels in this case, which is a great size for a brush. Click OK. Now, this was generated. We don't need to save this layer anymore. This layer, we can save it, but for right now, I'm just going to delete it because it's not that important. I can come back to the threshold and say, hey, what if I want something a little finer? Well, I can come out here and do that, and once again, make an everything layer, NE, with Shift, Option, Command, and then once again, and this time I'm going to use my shortcut. And if you want to know how to make shortcuts, B, it's under Edit down near the bottom. I'll show you. Edit. Where's it? Keyboard shortcuts right here. You can learn how to make your own custom keyboard shortcuts. I'm going to delete that file. Now, what if I wanted to invert this? And there is inversion right there. And if I invert this file and come back to my posterized and say, yeah, I want a little more detail there, and let's make a brush out of that. And we can go ahead and make our NE, Command Z. That is because, and Option Command Z, that's because I wasn't on the uppermost layer. Live and learn, right? Okay, because my invert was happening above that layer. Now I can save out that brush. Now you get the strategy here, right? We're up to C with our brushes. And on and on and on. Now, delete that layer. What if we turn these off and come back down here where it's just black and white? Can you make a brush out of this that's got this grayscale in here? Well, here, the answer is yes, we can. And once again, we have our sequence of letters with our brush names. Now these brushes, if I hit the B to get my brush tool, these brushes are now living in this brush panel down here, and it shows you what size they are. We'll talk about how to export and save these things. It's pretty much like symbols and everything else that we've been working with, but we can make our own custom brush libraries this way. And when we save out this file again, we still have everything we need in order to create our textures as well. So there's a little tip on adding brushes to our library because our arsenal is going to include brushes. They're simple to create and very effective to use because we can resize these, rotate these, do all kinds of cool things to them with the brush engine that will give us far more power than a simple JPEG texture will. Oops, and I forgot to remind you, hey, we've got a sub today, which you now know because there's a stranger in the room. Please be nice to Ms. Hughes. And Saturday schools are so much more fun when you come by choice rather than by invitation directly from the boss. So be good, please, and stay on task. Thank you very much.